Hello. In this mini lesson, we're going to talk a little bit about picking our best evidence and how we do that. Want to make sure that first we're on the same page about a couple of things. Just because you find a quote that's related to your topic or theme doesn't mean it's necessarily the best one to support your idea. And I'll show you some examples of that in a minute. But you're looking for more than just, oh, it has the same words or the same idea as what I'm going for. The second thing to think about is just the first thing you find isn't always the best thing. So something that we'll be doing as we're writing our essays is really searching for the best evidence, okay? Because that is an 8th grade expectation, right? You've gone from just finding evidence in the 6th grade and trying to find evidence that's relevant in the 7th grade to now not just relevant, but really strong and best evidence. So in order to find evidence, you first have to be really clear on the idea that you're trying to support. In this case, that's your theme. So in this mini lesson, I'm going to focus on the theme of like speaking up for yourself, which is one of the ways that, you know, Jade finds her power in this story. So speaking up for yourself, sort of a theme or a message. And I'm going to show you a couple of different quotes that I found that I felt like were at least somewhat related to speaking up for yourself. And we'll talk about how to pick the best one. So first, this is when Sam first visits Jade's house. And she's kind of freaked out and it's frustrating to Jade. So Jade says, I want to say no. I want to say, if you don't feel safe coming to my house, then don't come. But instead, I say sure. Because I know Sam really wants to come and wouldn't be scared if her grandparents had not polluted her mind with all these stories. That's on page 97. And this might be one of those pieces of evidence that you first grab for because of the I want to say, right? And instead I say, like it's talking about speaking up, right? But ultimately this quote is about a moment when Jade doesn't speak up, right? She is trying to preserve her friendship. She's trying to have compassion for Sam. So ultimately she doesn't speak up. So despite the fact that there's a lot of things about speaking in this quote, it's not a good fit, okay? Second possible quote, this is when Jade is talking to her dad about, why she wants to learn Spanish and travel the world. And she says, it makes me feel like I'm learning a secret code or something. I don't know, it's powerful. Powerful? Really? Yes, all language is. That's what you used to tell me. So we're getting closer with this one, right? Because we're talking about speaking up as a way to access power. So this could potentially work if the claim was, instead of about speaking up for yourself, was about sort of Jade's fascination with Spanish. If your claim was learning another language is a key to power, right? This one would be perfect, right? Because we're talking about power and how Jade gets power, which is what I'm looking for in my theme about speaking up to gain power. But it's more about Spanish and sort of more theoretical and less about a moment when Jade herself speaks up. So again, closer because we're talking about power, but not quite there yet. Okay. So this last one, she's speaking directly to Mr. Flores and asking him about her lack of nomination to the study abroad program. So she says, why am I only seen as someone who needs and not someone who can give? And so at first glance, right, this quote, you're like, that doesn't have anything to do with speaking up, right? But it's not in the words of the quote particularly, but the context around this quote and what she chooses to say is a perfect example of her speaking up, right? It's about who she's talking to. So it's about including sort of the context for your evidence, that background, and what she says. She kind of hits the nail on the head as far as addressing exactly the stereotypes that teachers have had about her for so long. So I'm not just looking for like key words here when I'm looking for evidence. I'm looking for something that fits the category, fits my idea, fits my theme, and shows Jade finding some power. Okay. So I'm going to highlight my best evidence in green. Okay, and so when you go back after watching this video to task 1, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. So think about all the evidence you've gathered. We wrote our claim last week, so you've got a theme already in mind. So whatever that theme is, you're looking for the evidence that is the best fit for that theme. So what I want you to do is go back into your virtual notebook, like go back through the pages. Here's an example from somebody's. Thanks, Tyler. So go back through the pages and actually highlight the best evidence that really fits your theme. And if you find, as you're trying to do task 1, that you don't have any evidence for your theme or doesn't quite feel like a good fit, now would be a good time to pause, go back to the pages you already read, and make sure you've got some really good evidence for your essay.